Is your e-commerce store sabotaging itself without even realising it? If you're stuck on page 2 or your customers feel confused, you might be dealing with a silent e-commerce killer. Category cannibalisation. Dun, dun, dun. Today I'm going to show you exactly what that is, how to spot it, how to fix it, and how to boost your rankings and sales. So let's dive in. Category cannibalisation, although not particularly easy to say, is easy to explain. It's where more than one page on your website is ranking for exactly the same keyword. Instead of one page sending one clear signal to Google, 2 pages are sending mixed signals to it, and it doesn't know which one of them it should be ranking for that term. And consequently, it ranks neither of them particularly well. And the result of that is both of those pages end up weaker. So what we don't want on an e-commerce site is any cannibalisation of our category pages in particular. Because, of course, if one of them is a category page or one of them is a product page, that cannibalisation means it's not ranking as high as it could be, which means it's not bringing in as many visitors as it could be, which means ultimately you are missing out on sales. So let's have a look at an example on Ahrefs. I found this company, this sweet hamper company. They sell confectionery in the UK, and I've put them into Ahrefs, and I've looked using this fabulous filter called multiple URLs only, and that shows me where there is more than one URL ranking for the same keyword. Now I put in 90 because I know what I'm looking for. I found this already before the video started, and it's this old school 90s sweets. And if I click on the filter, you can see here that the website is ranking 2 different pages for the same search term. So the search term is old school 90s sweets, and it's ranking a collection page and a blog post. Now here's the collection page. This is the page that it would like to be ranking in the top 5. And here's the blog post, which it probably doesn't need to be ranking in the top 10. But I understand why they built it out. And what we can see is the collection page is ranking 14 and the blog post is ranking 36. And that is a classic example of keyword cannibalisation. So why does keyword cannibalisation happen? Well, there are a few main reasons that I see in my clients' websites when I work with them. Usually it's just a good old-fashioned lack of awareness that this problem even exists. There's already a perfectly good category page or a product page ranking for the keyword, and then they decide for decent reasons that they want to produce a blog post to support that category page, and you've just seen an example on the sweet shop. Now it's not always the client's fault. Sometimes Google moves the goalposts, and once upon a time, let's say 2 years ago, you had 2 different but similar category pages, and Google was happy to show those individually. And then over the last couple of years, it's decided that actually they're both targeting the same thing, and what we call the search intent, what it is the user is actually trying to find out, Google has merged those 2 together, and now you've got 2 different pages that are targeting the same thing. And then the third reason is now and again I see an over-optimization of a website. A client that's decided they want to tackle every single keyword, no matter how similar they are. So I might see a page for men's running shoes, men's running footwear, and trainers for men. I might see 3 individual pages when of course all we really need is one tackling all 3 of those search terms. But the good news, well, this is 100% fixable, and let's look at how to do that. The first step is we need to audit the categories, and I've already shown you one way of doing that, which is on Ahrefs. Go into Site Explorer, put your website in the Explorer, select organic keywords, and then make sure to select multiple URLs only, and it will readily show you all the keywords that you're ranking for where more than one page is appearing in the search results. Now, of course, I know not everybody has an Ahrefs account, and you can reach out to me for a free SEO audit at minsterseo.com/free5to-fix, and if one of your main issues is keyword cannibalisation, I'll bring that out on the video. Now the link is on the screen and it is also in the description if you want to get that free audit. The other way of doing it, which is accessible to most of us but is a bit more long-winded, is to use Google Search Console. And I've got an example here on the screen from an old website of mine. This was an astronomy website, and one of the things it looked at was telescope, making telescope recommendations. And you can see here I've put in this search term best telescope. And then if I go down to the bottom of the page, select pages, and you can see all of these pages are ranking for the term best telescope. Now some of them I'm not bothered about because they barely appeared at all. So these 4 at the bottom I could ignore safely. But these 3, 4, 5 at the top, this is a month's worth of search activity. Now thankfully Google likes the best telescope page for best telescope, but it also really likes a model review here, and an old telescope page that should have been depublished, and a guide to choosing a telescope. And you can see that that's really muddying the waters, and this best telescope page doesn't stand a chance of being number 1 for the search term, whilst all of these others are ranking for it as well. So that requires a little bit of strategic thinking, but it makes it very clear where the problem lies. And that moves me very nicely on to step 2, which is we need to fix the problem. So how do we do that? Well, there are 2 main ways. The first is we can merge the offending pages, and the second way is that we can make one of them clearly the priority page and make the other cannibalizing pages subservient to it. The sweet shop example we looked at the beginning of this video is a great one for where we might not necessarily merge the pages, but we do want to change the emphasis. So this blog post here, at the very least, wants to be linking to the category page. And you know, it's a blog post. At the bottom of it here, there should definitely be a call to action saying something like shop our nostalgic 90s sweets, and make that the anchor text and link across to the 90s category. And that very clearly tells Google that the important page for 90s sweets is over here. Now the other way of dealing with it, which is the way I deal with it most commonly, is where there are category pages that are competing with each other. And the best thing you can do with those is merge those category pages. So find the one that's the most powerful, that's the one that's probably ranking the highest, and then consolidate the other pages into it. Take the best information from those other pages, import it into the main page, and then depublish the other pages, and 301 redirects them to the main page. And then step 3, which applies in either case, whether you are merging or changing the emphasis, is to optimize the main page. That's make sure your H1 is nailed, make sure the internal links are working properly and are using good anchor text, and make sure the categories and subcategories on the page match the user's intent. Fundamentally, what you need to remember is this one thing, and that is one good page beats 2 or more weak pages every single time in Google search. And that's it. The simple way to finding and fixing cannibalizing pages on your website to improve your rankings, bring in more visitors, and increase your online sales. To recap, audit your categories using Ahrefs if you've got access to software like that, or if you haven't, use Google Search Console, and when you found those, fix the overlaps either by merging or by making it clear to Google which one is the important page for the search term, and strengthen your survivors. Strengthen the one page that you want ranking for those important keywords. If you want me to look at your cannibalization issues for you, I'm really happy to do that. Just click the link in the description and fill in a few brief details, and I'll be happy to provide that service for you free of charge. If you've liked what you've seen here today, please click the like button, that would be wonderful. Subscribe if you'd like to learn more. And if you're not sure whether you want to hear more from me yet, why don't you click on this video here, where you can learn more about invisible store syndrome. Until next time, take care.